r/Ask Reddit. What is something that seems easy to other people but is difficult for you? Knowing when to jump in and out of conversations. I'm either rude for interrupting or rude for not talking. I have trouble ending the conversation. I don't even like small talk, so I'm not trying to linger, but I always wonder what moment to be like, goodbye. My friend will interrupt people mid-sentence and say, okay, well thanks for talking. Then he walks away. I love that guy. Something that seems easy to many people but is difficult for me is remembering names. It's like my brain just decides to take a vacation whenever I meet someone new, and the name just slips away before I can even attempt to commit it to memory. It's embarrassing sometimes, especially when I see others effortlessly recall names after just one introduction. I've tried all sorts of tricks, like associating names with visuals or repeating them in my head, but it's still a challenge. I worked with a guy every night for about 6 months. Left that job, but would still occasionally see him for years after, and every time he would greet me by name. I even tried to check his name badge, and then the next time greet him back, but then my brain would panic. Was his name actually Peter, or was it Paul? It's gotta be Peter. Hey mate, how's it going? I am absolutely garbage when it comes to expressing myself in photos. Usually, whenever someone takes a photo of me, I usually just give the camera a 1,000-yard stare. Lots of my family members have called photos of me scary because of the expression I make. Sorry I laughed too hard at this. I too sometimes look like a deer caught in the headlights as I'm trying to keep my eyes open rather than squinting as I laugh. So yeah, like you, I can look scary. I can't get it right. When someone's taking a picture even photo shoot style, and I have never managed a selfie not to look like I'm wigged out on something. Family and friends wonder why I'm hardly in any pictures and why I don't look like myself in pictures. For years I tried to stay behind the camera and be the picture taker, but now everyone's got a camera in their phone. I'm navigationally very stupid. Before GPS, I used to always need to have a passenger to direct me to where I'm going. Even traveling to places you would think are super easy, or places I'd been to before, I would still need a co-pilot, usually a GF, but sometimes my mum or a friend too. If I had to drive anywhere on my own, I would need to write out detailed instructions on paper, and I would be a ball of anxiety the entire way. I would need street or exit names before and after every actual street or exit I needed to find so that I either knew it was coming up next or I know I'd missed it. Without that, I could literally miss my turn and keep driving for an hour without ever knowing I'd gone too far. Getting lost or not knowing where exactly I am is some kind of phobia I think I suffer from. Even mazes in video games give me anxiety. If a game has a maze or labyrinth I can't rush through or skip entirely, I'd just quit the game. A lot of games have, or used to have, some kind of maze level. I bought the first generation TomTom when they came out. It was very expensive for me, but it opened up the world to me, and I could finally travel freely by myself without anxiety. Whistling and opening beer bottles with anything else than a bottle opener. Yes, I'm German, and we have a reputation of being able to open a beer bottle with just about anything, but I guess that software update just didn't get installed here. Was in the Parlamentarisches Patenschafts program for a year, and my co-workers wouldn't let me graduate until I proved I could open a beer 20 different ways. Guessing where is left and right. Every time someone tells me turn left, I have to carefully think about it, and most of the time I'm wrong. I'm right-handed and have a tattoo on my left wrist, but it doesn't change a lot. The process has to take some time. I used to make an L with my hands when I was young. The one facing the correct direction is left. I taught my daughter by telling her, pretend you're about to pick up your pencil. Which hand is out? Since she's right-handed, it's quick and easy to decide that's the right. The L trick works too, but if you have dyslexia, etc., that might not be too helpful. Finding love. Oh man, that's difficult for anyone who actually cares about feeling truly happy, loved, fulfilled, and in a safe space where you can be yourself. And then you find the right person, and then, well, it's still ducking hard. But, oh, so worth it. Some people tend to have happy and longer marriages just because they're eager to. They know they have to work at it sometimes. It's not about a perfect match. Talking to people. Really, I just don't know how to strike conversation with people. My 8-year-old son is so good at this, he always finds something to talk to people he just met. I just can't. I used to be like this. Hated small talk. I have a friend that's really good at it. I believe he really enjoys listening to people. Everyone loves him. He's such a nice guy. I watched him a couple times when he meets new people or starts a random conversation. His conversation is basically asking them questions about themselves and then finding a way to relate to them. When he can't relate to them, he asks a new question about them. People love talking about themselves. Doing things without procrastinating. I once started writing a paper in university at 8 p.m. the night before it was due. I'd already done all the research, just needed to write it. Finished it at 4 a.m., handed it in at 8 a.m., got the highest mark in the class. I learned nothing from the experience. You mean you learned that you can finish up your big projects in one last overnighter, which is not helpful down the road, generally. I was exactly like this. I'd get all my research done within a few days of the paper being assigned, then wait until the night before to put it all together, so to speak. But I'd still get high marks because I've always been pretty decent at writing. As a result, when I first started working, I had a terrible time staying on tasks due to their frequency and complexity. I still got everything done, but I stressed too much about getting it done instead of just doing it. Developed a mild anxiety from this experience. Now I've learned to make life easier by putting everything on my work calendar. Not on the calendar. Most likely not getting done. Sleeping, I do what I can. Meditation, supplements, exercise, regular early bedtime. Tried regular late bedtime too, but still it takes me an age to fall asleep. And I'll get 5-6 hours on a good night. I am constantly tired. I try to explain to my boyfriend all the time that I'm not like a little sleepy. I am like cancer patient after a round of chemo, exhausted like 60% of the time. I don't think I've had a good night's sleep in my 30 years of life. Nothing helps. Nothing. Only sleepy. Math. I've never passed math in my entire life. Every year I failed, and it gave me so much anxiety about my future. Other subjects were fine. For most part, it's just math that I literally can't get better at some reason, no matter how much I try. Thankfully, my job requires no stupid math. I can't park straight. I have to literally get out of the car and see if I'm crooked. I always am, and then get back in and straighten out. I can't park front in. Like at all, it looks like I'm going to hit the car besides me. But I can reverse park in the tiniest spaces. Oh, you've made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content. Bruh, it's free, and that's a great price.